Hey besties! Thank you for joining me for this week's astro weather forecast. I'm Pix, and we have a very busy week ahead of us this week. July has been one of the most active months out of the year, in case you haven't noticed. But the main events this week occur on Thursday when we have our new moon in Leo and Jupiter stations retrograde in Aries. Also, Mercury makes contacts with 4 different planetary bodies throughout the week, which also tells us that the next few days are going to be full of hustle and bustle. I release this content for my patron besties at the beginning of every week, so if you're interested in getting this information on time, click the link for my Patreon in the description of this video. So first I'm going to go into the general forecast for the week, and then I'll go into rising sign horoscopes for the week. So if you're interested in just hopping straight to your rising sign, check the timestamps in the description. So, sensitivities are going to be pretty high at the beginning of the week. On Monday, July 25th, the moon enters Cancer and we drop into our feels. Emotions are more visceral and the call for comfort, private time, and nurturing gets louder. A confrontation may come up at some point before the evening of Tuesday, July 26th, when Mercury in Leo finishes its square with Mars at 14 degrees Taurus. This is the first of Mercury's contacts this week. As I said earlier, Mercury does a lot of things this week. And it signifies, this specific transit signifies sharp tongues or passive-aggressive comments or behavior in the mix at the beginning of the week. This is especially true for the fixed rising signs. That's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius risings will be feeling this confrontation most strongly. So you also may have to choose, because this is a square, you may have to make a decision or choose between one thing or the other thing. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. That's what this transit is for. So tension will subside at a little bit by the middle of the week, and on Wednesday, July 27th, there may be a detail you learn or a conversation that you have with somebody that makes you feel really good, or is a pick-me-up, or assists in healing around one of your core wounds that has been coming up over the past few weeks. Mercury makes its second contact of the week with this trine to Chiron at 16 degrees Aries, granting us with some communication assistance and getting our point across the way we mean to. The moon enters Leo that night, on Wednesday night, the sign where it will renew. And maybe you feel a little bit of a spark preparing you for the next day. Because on Thursday, July 28th, we kick off our new moon at 5 degrees Leo. A new beginning is sparked, and brand new baby seed nestles in to the fertile ground somewhere in our lives. A new moon is a great time for manifestation, as we all talk about, a great time for magic and ritual. I recommend lighting a candle for the new moon at some point on Thursday with the intention to manifest something or bring something into your life that you want. What do you want to see growing in your life? What do you want to tend to for the next couple weeks before the moon is full again? Since the new moon is in Leo, maybe the question becomes, what do I want my legacy to look like? If you've already been working towards something, now is a great time to reinforce your intention. New moons are great for this. This lunation specifically also symbolizes the halfway point between eclipse season, between the Taurus and Scorpio eclipses that happened in April and May. The first set was April 30th and May 15th, and the next set of major beginnings and major endings, that's what eclipses do, is October 25th and November 8th. So we're halfway. We're halfway there. This is especially exciting for fixed rising signs because we're feeling it the hardest. And Thursday, our exciting day, at the same time, Jupiter stations retrograde at 8 degrees Aries, forming a fiery and blessed trine with the new moon. We have a 5 degree and an 8 degree. That's a pretty nice trine in my book. Warmth, energy, inspiration will be much more available to you during this lunation, thanks to Big Daddy Jupe. But as I mentioned last week, when a planet stations retrograde, it signals a larger force at play. So Jupiter represents deep wisdom, knowledge, fertility, growth, abundance, positivity, and blessings. When Jupiter stations retrograde, some of these topics may feel like they are taken over by destiny, in a sense. Like Jupiter had plans, but then he got sick, he lost his volition, and fate took over. So retrogrades can signify a shift and become a time when our guides and the universe starts talking to us a lot louder than before, or something larger flows in and provides plot twists that are generally outside what we had planned. So a force larger than Jupiter is taking over. So Jupiter is going to have to find alignment with this larger force, or it'll kick and struggle and feel like it's being taken over by something that is contrary to its will. So going with the flow is the safest bet with retrogrades. Sometimes retrogrades manifest as delays or reversals of fate or circumstance, or having to relinquish what was gained in some way. There may be elements of this that come up on Thursday. A shift with knowledge, a shift with attitude, a shift with perspective, and with goals that may be led by a larger force at play now. Just for this retrograde, not for the entire time that Jupiter is retrograde, but while Jupiter shifts, or while any planet shifts, there is a shift for us as well. Okay, the next Mercury contact to be aware of during the weekdays is some sort of progressive or non-traditional way of communicating, something out of the box, something not the usual. Mercury is moving along from its other contacts and is now going to be squaring Uranus at 18 degrees Taurus. That's around Thursday. So having a unique conversation amidst all of this, one that surprises you or where you have to come into contact with something very progressive. Freedom, independence, autonomy, technology, and travel are all Uranus topics, an example of topics that could come up for you. But some sort of theme that generally, exists outside the status quo, something the silent generation would be shocked by, that's what Uranus does. That's Uranus contact. So that's most of the weekdays, and over the weekend, things continue to be spicy, and there are a few dynamics to be aware of. Conversations, details, or slowdowns around serious topics could come up on Saturday, July 30th, due to the final Mercury transit this week, which is when it opposes Saturn retrograde at 22 degrees Aquarius. So Mercury opposite Saturn brings up commitments, contracts, sometimes feeling stuck between a rock and a hard place, but making solid foundational decisions are Saturn themes to watch out for over the weekend. So you may feel someone press the brakes on something, you may feel a delay or a slowdown around something, and Saturn just likes to get things done properly and make sure the foundation is solid. So maybe dealing with a stubborn person or an elder, something about it could be ancestral or karmic. The father archetype might be more prominent around this day, around this weekend. And the moon enters Virgo on Saturday as well, which assists Mercury with the conversations and details and plans and organizing or whatever serious stuff Saturn has Mercury up to. The moon brings in more of a detail-oriented focus, so the left side of your brain gets a bit more active over the weekend. Cleaning, organizing, carrying out plans flows a lot better with a Virgo moon, which is very useful for any weekend activities. And there might be an element to the weekend that touches on a core wound around relationships by the morning of Sunday, July 31st, the last day of July. Venus in Cancer squares Chiron at 16 degrees Aries. So opportunities to move through intimacy wounds may come up, whether they're romantic intimacy, friendly intimacy, familial intimacy. something coming up to help work around that. If not intimacy wounds, then core wounds around creativity and the inner child can also come up. Core wounds around self-confidence, being true to yourself, self-love, or, how you view yourself in general can come up. Self-esteem can come up. If you feel yourself triggered around intimacy or certain relationships, or play and creativity this weekend, take it as an open invitation, an open opportunity to get curious about what's hurting and spend some time with your inner child. Play, have fun, try and have a lighter perspective. Not everything needs to be so heavy. Saturn will try and make it feel heavy. Play, have fun, be creative with no personal agenda except to strengthen that bond with your inner child, the little you, the little version of you that's still inside. Take this as an opportunity to work on that relationship with yourself. Because these triggers are absolutely an opportunity to heal or to make things better. And we have the sun in Leo trining Jupiter retrograde at 8 degrees around the same time over the weekend. So happy contact with the trine from these two planets can signify a miracle, a blessing, expansion, abundance, positive attitudes. It's warm, it's authentic, it's real, it's friendly, and it's generally just happy. So it can bring in some sweetness and some warmth to any of the challenging dynamics that are coming up over the weekend. And so we have that to look forward to. And besides the overall seriousness or dullness or intimacy triggers, there's one more interesting layer of energy to be aware of throughout the week. And it might even be loudest of them all. I saved the best for last. Because on Monday, August 1st, so over the weekend, the North Node, Uranus, and Mars conjoin at 18 degrees Taurus. And the applying tension may be obvious all week because these are some slow-moving planets that are pretty wild when they get together. Mars conjoining Uranus can signify endings or separations or topics around that bring independence or freedom or autonomy. Something about this weekend could feel very destined or fated or out of your hands in some way because of the North Node. There may be also an insatiable element to it where you feel like there isn't enough. There just isn't enough of something. Or you need to sort through a lot of things. Like there's too much stuff. You have a lot of stuff to sort through. So Aries, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius risings will be noticing this the most viscerally over the weekend, and it will finally exact on Monday, and I will talk more about that next week. So that's what's up for this week and this weekend. Thank you so much for being here. Are you expecting anything to come up this week? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And no one ever comments. If you want vibe support, don't forget you can join the Ninth House Discord if you want to join an occult community that's super chill and fun. The link to the Discord is in the description of this video. And I am endlessly thankful for your support and for you listening and being here. You're helping me do what I love, and I love you for that. So with the forecast covered, I'm going to jump into the mini rising sign horoscopes for the week. And I'm also going to pull cards for each of the rising signs this week because there's so many different dynamics happening over the week that it'll be nice to kind of get some more clarity around what you specifically should take away this week. So let's begin. Rising sign horoscopes for this week. Aries rising. This week is probably going to provide a pretty significant shift for Aries risings. Jupiter retrograde, or when it stations retrograde, it signals an internal shift of some kind for you because Jupiter is in Aries. So there'll be some sort of shift having to do with your identity, your perspectives, your goals or objectives, or maybe the way that you look. And the new moon has a very fertile opportunity to manifest things that bring you pleasure and joy. Even if it seems mundane, pleasure and joy are, extremely important for our life on Earth. Like, we're here to also enjoy things. So light a candle to bring in more fun. The doctor prescribes more fun for Aries rising. If you can get more specific about how you want to have fun, that's even better, and the more likely you will be to manifest it. So take advantage of that for the new moon. And I'm gonna pull a card for Aries. This is your week, your takeaway for the week. The salamander and the black pepper. Okay? This is inspiration. So find inspiration for your joy and your fun. Even the cards say, stay inspired. It keeps our spark alive in our life, right? So thank you so much for being here, Aries rising. That's what I have this week, and I'm moving on to Taurus. Okay, Taurus rising. This week is going to provide a positive internal or private shift for Taurus risings. Jupiter retrograde allows for opportunities for you to reconnect with yourself and especially reconnect with your spirituality. Ideally through very intentional, sacred alone time. You can't really expect this alone time to just happen for you. It's intentional. So you can expect a shift or activity with friends or allies this week, or with any shared resources you are involved with. So this is with a partner or, using somebody else's resources, some sort of shift happening there. The new moon in Leo signals a new beginning with your foundation. A new beginning takes root and begins to blossom with your family or your home life or your property over the next couple weeks. So let's see what the card is for my Taurus rising this week. You got the skunk. Skunk and magnolia, protection. So that's the other thing about this Aries contact is it's your 12th house, and that's an easy place for psychic attacks. So you're more prone to psychic attacks. What is a psychic attack? It's when somebody is thinking negatively about you, speaking negatively about you, and that energy sends out into your energy field and it affects you. Someone talks shit and you stub your toe. That's kind of what I'm talking about. So be more protective of your energy and space, have more intention around protection, and that is my recommendation for this week. So thank you so much for being here, Taurus rising. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you next week, and I'm moving on to Gemini rising. Okay, Gemini rising, you may see a shift with your allies or your colleagues this week due to the Jupiter retrograde. There will probably be an overall shift with how you're seen by the people who know you or the people around you, either in your day-to-day life or at work or with your career. There could also be a possible shift with your partnerships or your clients this week. The new moon, there's a lot of shifts happening. And this new moon plants a new seedling with your immediate environment. So maybe your immediate environment is changing. New environments, new perspectives. This new perspective on something will start to blossom over the next coming weeks. So it's a pretty exciting new moon for your perspectives. And the Jupiter shift will be a big shift for you too. Let's see what the cards have to say about Gemini rising this week. Communication, Gemini's favorite thing. The rooster and the sunflower. So take it, if you see a rooster, take that as a sign. Also, communication. If you were thinking of not communicating, now you have to. Not that a Gemini wouldn't, but communicate more this week. And that's what I have for Gemini risings. I will see you next week. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, Cancer rising. This week, you may experience a shift with how you're seen by the people around you or with your day-to-day life or at work. Jupiter shifting is a big shift for how you are seen. So maybe your day-to-day tasks shift in some way. The new moon provides a new beginning with your resources. So expect a new beginning to blossom with your income or your finances, a material possession, or your diet over the next couple weeks. This is a great new moon to light a candle for manifesting any resources you need on Thursday. So let's see what the cards have to say. What is the highlight this week for you to take away? We have creative ingenuity, the spider. don't even know if you can see this, but yeah. Spider and the passion flower. So be creative with your resources. The cards ask you to harness more of that creativity and watch your resources blossom. So that's what I have for Cancer rising this week. And I'm going to move on to Leo rising. Okay, Leo rising. This week may provide an opportunity to shift something about your perspectives and ultimately expand your mind. So maybe you experience a positive perspective shift in some way, or a shift in a law situation if you're involved with one. It could also provide a shift with long distance travel or with schooling, if you're waiting for an answer there. You could experience an internal shift that helps with your writing and your storytelling. Writing and storytelling are highlighted this week. Dreams could also be very telling this week, so pay attention to your dreams this week. The new moon will provide an overall new beginning for you as a Leo rising, possibly to do with your relationship or to do with your overall identity, your overall goals or objectives, or your appearance. This is a great new moon to light a candle to manifest anything you want for your highest good. As a Leo rising, you have ample opportunity to harness this manifestation magic this week on Thursday. So let's see what you got, what card you got this week. Oh, the Finch and the Peach, romance. So the cards want you to prioritize romance in some way this week, whether it's romance with somebody else or it's romance with yourself. That's important too. So that's what I have this week for Leo risings. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Moving on to Virgo risings. Okay, Virgo risings, this week may provide a bit more anxiety than you normally appreciate as a Virgo rising. There may be a shift with a resource you share with somebody else or with any other system, you share resources with. Some deeply buried emotional stuff may come out to be dealt with and healed or just uncovered. If you have a partner, there could be a shift happening in their lives in some way this week. And on Thursday for the new moon's going to provide an internal new beginning for you. So something that's private and generally kept to yourself and your spirit team. Maybe there's a new beginning with your spirituality happening. This new beginning is really easy to miss or hard to see because it's in your 12th house. So it's best to stay as grounded and conscious as you can this week. This isn't the best week for travel, a heads up, but if you are going to travel, make some time to expect delays. And let's see what the cards have to say for Virgo risings this week. Oh, this is so Virgo. The Mouse and the Buttercup. This is all about innocence. So connecting with that inner child will be very helpful for you this week. I want to see it. I want to see my Virgo risings connecting with their inner child. Okay, and that's what I have for Virgo risings. Thank you so much for being here. Comment below. Let me know what's going on for you. I really appreciate it. And I'm moving on to Libra rising. Okay, Libra rising. This week you may experience a shift with a one-on-one dynamic. So maybe a shift in a relationship or a shift in a partnership or a shift in your relationship dynamics. There could be a shift with a bestie or a shift with client work. The new moon will provide a new beginning with allies and colleagues and friends. So this new beginning is taking root over the next couple weeks. Where one door closes, another door always opens. It's the law of physics or whatever. So yeah, new beginning with your friendships or your allies. And let's see what the cards have to say for Libra rising. Dreams. Okay, the alligator and the poppy. So your dreams are highlighted this week. I mentioned that dreams might be highlighted, but pay extra attention to your dreams this week and see what they have to say. The alligator recommends it. And that's what I have for Libra risings. Thank you so much, Libra rising. I really appreciate you being here. Comment below. Let me know what's going on for you. And I'll see you next week. And then we're moving on to Scorpio risings. Okay, Scorpio rising. This is a good week to shift your daily routine in some way. If your daily routine has been slipping, this is the perfect opportunity to take your power back with your routine. Even if there's only a small amount you can do to change things or one small step you can take, taking that step will be rewarded this week. This new daily routine could be in support of a major new beginning you're facing with your life. This new moon in Leo is in your 10th house, and it signals a seed taking root with your reputation or what you're known for doing. This could be related to your career or your job, but overall, your reputation. This is a very useful new moon to light a candle to manifest and align you with your ultimate goals and objectives with this new moon in Leo. So let's see what the cards have to say for this week for Scorpio risings. Oh, bashfulness. The possums and the peony. Okay, so this is classic. This is classic Scorpio shit. So we're about to be seen, right? With this new moon in Leo and our routine changing at the same time. And there may be a bit of bashfulness that comes up at first, and that's okay, you know. Love your inner child through it. This is what I'm saying about connecting with the inner child. It's only your little, inner child who's afraid and why you're bashful. So connect more with that inner child and move through this bashfulness, because you are going to be seen during Leo season and with this new moon. And that's what I have for Scorpio risings this week. Thank you so much for being here. Comment below. Let me know what's going on. Help me with the YouTube algorithm. I really, really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week. And now we're moving on to Sag rising. Okay, Sag rising, this week is going to provide a very significant shift for Sag rising. Jupiter, your ruling planet, stations retrograde, which often signals an internal or external shift of some kind, maybe having to do with your looks or appearance, your vitality, your goals and objectives, some sort of shift happening there. It may go as deep as a shift with your identity in some way. This also signals a shift with things that bring you pleasure and joy, the fun things, a shift with fun or with people that you're dating or with your creative side in some way. The new moon this week will provide a new beginning around higher-minded topics for you, like a specific perspective you hold or will begin to hold. There could also be a new beginning with teaching or learning or travel or occult topics this week. A new beginning in your mind, probably due to something kind of cool. So, let's see what the cards have to say this week for my Sag risings. Okay, the wolf and the rose hip. The hose hip. Guardianship. So this is about protection. This is about guarding what's important to you. This is about protecting somebody else. And what's coming up for me is your inner child that might be reflected in a child that you know. Guardianship is highlighted this week. So if you see a wolf, or if you see rose hip, or if you feel the need to guard something, or to take care of a kid or your inner child, you are on the right track. So that's what I have for Sages this week. Thank you so much for being here. I am endlessly thankful for your support. Comment below. Let me know what's going on for you this week. Help me out with this algorithm so that YouTube pushes my content more. Again, thank you so much. And I'm moving on to Cap rising. Okay, Cap rising. Expect some perspective shifts and some shifts around your home life this week. You could be having to face a bit of shadow work at the beginning of the week, which leads to positive change with your foundation this weekend. The new moon will provide a couple of options for new beginnings on Thursday. There could be a new beginning taking root with resources that you share with someone else. like money or material things. There could also be a new beginning taking root with healing around some buried trauma or fears. So overall, this shadow work that comes up will ultimately result in giving you more positivity and more, and a happier private life. So don't shy away from any triggers or healing that needs to happen this week. This is an important week for healing for Cap risings. Not that I think that Cap rising would ever shy away from anything, but still needs to be said. So that's what I have this week. Let's see what the cards have to say for Cap risings. We got the Trout and the Lily of the Valley, which reminds me of Animal Crossing every time. So this is purification, and that makes total sense with what's happening this week. There may be some things that come up that result in needing purification, which will clear you out and make so much more space for what you want to come in. You have to clear shit out to bring in new things. So this week is for that, and that's what I have. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your support. Comment below. Let me know what's going on for you this week, just to help me with my YouTube algorithm. That'd be so great. And I will see you next week. Okay, Aquarius rising. This week is going to provide some good things for Aquarius rising. Firstly, expect a positive shift in your immediate environment. So that's with your roommates, your siblings, your street, your neighborhood, your car. You could also be experiencing a major perspective shift of some kind, a welcome perspective shift this week. The new moon will provide a new beginning with any one-on-one interactions that you have. So a new beginning with relationships, a new beginning with a partnership, or with besties, or with clients will start to take root and blossom over the next couple weeks due to this new moon in Leo on Thursday. So let's see what the cards have to say. What's the takeaway for Aquarius risings this week? Peace. The otter and, what is that? The cattail. The otter and the cattail. Peace is a priority this week. The cards say. Maybe the shift that happens will help bring you more peace, but prioritize peace if you are not already. So that's what I have for Aquarius risings this week. Thank you so much for being here. Comment below. Let me know what's going on for you. Help me out with this YouTube algorithm. Again, thank you so much. I'm endlessly thankful for your support, and I will see you next week. And we're moving on to Pisces. Okay, Pisces rising, this week is going to provide a pretty significant shift for you. Jupiter, your ruling planet, is stationing retrograde, which often signals an internal shift or an external shift of some kind, having to do maybe with your looks or appearance, your vitality, or any goals or objectives that you have, or your identity in some way. It may go as deep as that. This also signals a shift with your resources, like your finances, your income, material possessions, or your diet. The new moon on Thursday is a new beginning to your daily routine. A new beginning with a to-do list, or with some sort of service work, or just with your general daily schedule. Maybe there's a shift with coworkers. There could be a shift with a pet of some kind, or with your health. Any of these things that would shift your routine in some way. This will start to blossom. Maybe this new beginning will start to blossom over the next coming weeks as the moon becomes full. So let's see what the cards have to say for Pisces risings this week. Wisdom. The owl and the hop. The hop always makes me laugh. So, this is telling us that you have the wisdom, and the shift might provide some wisdom, but wisdom is highlighted this week. Either you are holding wisdom or you're seeking wisdom from somebody else. Wisdom, the owl and the hop. Drink beer and be wise. All right, so that's what I have for Pisces rising this week. Thank you so much for being here. Comment below. Let me know what's going on for you. Help me out with this YouTube algorithm. I'm endlessly thankful for your support, and I will see you next week. And overall, This is my outro. That's what's up for this week. So thank you so much for tuning in. Are you expecting anything to come up this week? Let me know in the comments. If you want vibe support or you want to join a really cool occult community, you can chat with me and other cool people in the 9th House Discord server. The link to join is in the description. I'm endlessly thankful for your support and for you being here. Have an amazing week, everybody. Thank you again. See you next time. Bye.